welcome to Profiles in Leadership. I'm Michael Gardner. Our guest today is Mort Anvari, PhD, a member of the Senior Executive Service, and he's the U.S. Army Director of Programs and Strategy and the Lean Six Sigma Deployment Director at the Office of the Assistant Secretary of the Army, Financial Management and Comptroller. Welcome, Mort.
Thank you, Michael. Nice being here.
Now, Mort, what is your vision for your role, and how do you communicate and get buy-in for this vision from the Army's senior cost and economic officials?
One of the main concerns that public has about taxpayer money, you are wondering if Department of Defense and particularly Department of Army spend the money in the right way and there is accountability and auditability for it. Public might not know the difficulties and challenge of auditability of organization that performs city management, hospital management, universities, all those things at one place. My vision is to bring that auditability into place by 2017. And we have been working on it, and I think the progress that we have seen is tremendous. And the response and bringing the community together to understand the need for that auditability of Army has been my vision, and I'm pursuing it.
Well, that's a great vision, a big undertaking. Now, Mort, we understand that the Army needs to make significant cuts in its budget, and your organization can help, but your budget is also being cut. So how will this impact your ability to assist the Army in determining how to do things more effectively and efficiently?
Okay. Well, what we do is looking at what is the mission and the nature of product and services that Army is providing, which we call it operating force. And then the business side, which is supporting the processes, activities to make sure that the product and services of Army is delivered correctly, is a business side. Creating a balance between those. How much of the business side of Army you can cut, and how much of impact would have in operating force is our goal, our objective to do. And we are involved in looking at all the processes one by one, how many people are supporting it, how much money we spend on those, and how effectively we, by integrating and creating the environment of effectiveness and efficiencies, injecting into those processes, how we can reduce it. And we have had a plan, and those plans to some degree, some of them has been approved and being implemented right now from 2016, we call it FY16 to FY19, 2016 to 2019. We do have a drawdown plan, both in the business side and operating side. And there has been a lot of modeling, a lot of communication, trying to answer multi-objective, multi-perspective into this process has been quite challenging and very interesting.
Now, Army budgets are based on spending everything available this year so that next year they can ask for more. Yes. So how can this way of thinking be changed so that the Army can become a true cost reduction culture?
What we call those cultures, we call it B culture, budget culture. That if I have been given certain resources, if I use those by time, and next year I have a justification for ask more. Budget culture. We are trying to convert that culture to cost culture. Cost culture says we have a limited resources and you have a lots of requirement. In fact, Department of Defense says I'm not able to achieve all my requirement. So we are turning that to a discussion of, do you want to be able to achieve some of the requirement that currently you are not able to with these limited resources? So it's a discussion of efficiency and effectiveness by looking at what I can do better. And I understand many of them are concerned about cost shifting. They think that in a macro economy, they say if you reduce the cost one place, it increases it in somewhere else. So we are looking at both from a micro perspective, from the product management, from the operational managers, to the enterprise level, that see the interdependency of those functions together and trying to look at from that perspective. And the tools and systems and processes that right now we have, which we didn't have several years ago, has helped us a lot. Army currently has a general fund enterprise system, which not only is a financial system plus all the activities that we can have a transparency and visibility into cost of products, services, operation, activities, and information is needed to make a right decision. We bring that to the decision makers. We say, what is your domain of control and influence? Identify what information you need, and based on that information need, we identify data and processes that those data get created, and acting like a chief data officers for the Army, we provide those dashboards for them. When they see it, they act right. I truly believe majority of managers in a government they want to do the right things, but sometimes sufficient information for doing right thing is not there, and that's what we are trying to provide.
And that's your role, is provide them with the data that they need to make those decisions.
Decisions, correct.
All right. Now, Mort, as you look back over your career as an SES, what legacy have you developed? And is there anything that you would still like to add to it?
I call myself problem solver. And for whatever reason, I believe for any problem there is a solution, and multiple solution. Job of finding out what is the best solution for it. So I often face with a problem that they think there is absolutely no solution for it. So I try to, even though might not be able to find the answer to their problem, I make them to believe that they can find the right answer for it. And that's a legacy that I have created. A lot of top-notch scientists, they would like to work for me because that environment of can-do attitude and can find a solution is the one that I want to keep as my legacy, and I want to work on it as much as I can.
No, that's very inspiring. One last question for you, a little more personal nature. We hear that you and your family love spending time together. Can you tell us a little bit about your children and some of the things that you most enjoy doing when you have an opportunity to get together?
Right. My children right now have reached the age that it's hard to spend time with them. I have one son that is a cyber engineer working for Northrop Grumman. During his education, I have been greatly involved for both from the scientific aspects and the personal development. My daughter is in medical school the same way. What we do, we sit down, watch movie, and make fun of everyone around us. And that's the family bonding that we have. And my wife is a good cook. We eat a good cook and complain about, jokingly, that it doesn't taste good.
It sounds like a great time together. Mort, thank you so much for spending the time with us here today.
Thank you.
We appreciate it. Thank you. And thank you for joining us for another edition of Profiles in Leadership. We'll see you next time.